No matter which way you slice it or what your opinion is on him, Broly is one of the most popular characters in all of Dragon Ball Z. Already the star of 3 DBZ movies, the time has now come for Broly to become the focus of an edition of Dragon Ball In Depth, where I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about the story of Broly, from his origins to his battles with the Z Fighters and Goku, to his defeat, to his constant comebacks in video games. This Dragon Ball In Depth is all about the legendary Super Saiyan, according to many, Broly.
この放送はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Starting with the first Dragon Ball Z movie in 1989, it became a tradition in Japan to release 2 Dragon Ball Z theatrical motion pictures per year, one in the spring for spring break and one in the summer for summer vacation. Toei Animation produced these films with a slightly bigger budget than that of a traditional Dragon Ball Z anime episode, and the films were released as side stories that didn't normally fit with the main story portrayed in the anime or manga. This, in addition to the very limited input from series creator Akira Toriyama, is the reason why these original 13 DBZ movies are considered non-canon by many fans. So the Toei Animation writing staff would come together and construct the storylines for the various DBZ movies, led by lead story writer and screenplay writer Takao Koyama. He is typically credited as being the mind behind the DBZ movies. Every villain from the DBZ movies and every movie itself is a takeoff of some sort from something that's going on or has gone on in the series. When it came to the 8th Dragon Ball Z movie, Takao Koyama would cultivate his most popular creation. No, guys, no matter what you may have read on the internet from misinformed fans, Broly was not created by Akira Toriyama. However, Koyama did commission Toriyama to draw the concept art for Broly, but the actual character and concept and backstory was Koyama, not Toriyama. The idea of Goku fighting a member from his own race was already somewhat touched upon in DBZ Movie 3, but never quite a character like this. Turles was a low-level warrior, like Goku, a character that represented what would happen if Goku never hit his head. This was, in a way, the original evil Goku. But with Broly, how would the Z Fighters contend against a hulking brute of legendary proportion? Conceptually, Broly was meant to be bigger and buffer than anyone else. In fact, when it comes to muscle mass, Super 13 from the previous movie is probably the only one who came close, but Garlic Jr. was pretty damn buff back in the day too. Now, Koyama wanted Broly to look intimidating, and at the same time, the most intimidating transformation we'd seen in Dragon Ball up until that point was in the battle between Cell and Future Trunks, when Trunks unleashed what would be called Super Saiyan Grade 3, known in the Western world as Ultra Super Saiyan. This became the basis for Broly's uber-muscular transformation with no pupils. Broly's transformation into his legendary form, although visually based on Trunks, does have some differences, at least beneath the surface. On the surface, Broly retains the huge muscles and white layered pupils, but his hair has more of a greenish-bluish type of tint, but at times it goes back to gold, and he seems noticeably larger in size. However, unlike the Grade 3 form, Broly's speed is not diminished. In fact, Broly is impressive defensively, as well as just being a tank who can take a considerable amount of damage and literally walks through a Kamehameha from Goku at point blank range right to the face. However, even though it appears like Broly can summon an unbelievably high level of power from this exclusive transformation, and yes, it is stated to be a transformation in the guidebooks, it appears like the form can be a bit unstable. However, when Broly returns for his second movie appearance, he doesn't show any sort of instability, but of course he is much stronger. Now, Daizenshu 6 tells us that Broly is the latest of the legendaries, like a Pokemon, I guess. And the last one was seen 1,000 years before the fight with Goku and Frieza on Namek, according to Vegeta. But there is a lot of debate about that statement, and that is a controversy which I'll end up probably discussing at a later date. As far as name puns go, Broly and his father Paragus follow that same vegetable name pun scheme like Vegeta and Bardock. Broly, of course, is broccoli, and his dad Paragus is obviously asparagus. Broly would prove to be very popular and would be the featured antagonist in 3 films, more than any other villain, breaking Cooler's record of 2. Broly's first appearance was DBZ Movie 8, known in the West as Broly the Legendary Super Saiyan, but its original Japanese name is Burn Up, a close fight, violent fight, super fierce fight. He would return in DBZ Movie 10, Broly's Second Coming, otherwise known as the Dangerous Duo, Super Warriors Never Rest, and finally, I guess a version of Broly makes his final movie appearance in Defeat the Super Warrior, I'll Be the Winner, also known as Bio Broly. Takao Koyama, the creator of Broly, is such a fan of Broly that I feel like he thinks his entire legacy is Broly when really it isn't. I mean, there are literally thousands upon thousands of Broly fans, but Koyama himself seems to be the biggest one. In July of 2013, Koyama was interviewed about Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods, the latest DBZ movie at the time, featuring the introduction of Beerus into the Dragon Ball world. And in this interview, Koyama himself came off a little bit salty, stating that his creation, Broly, was scarier and more frightening than Beerus. He also says that he was unable to come up with an opponent stronger than Broly, which is kind of horseshit because Janemba and Hirudegarn, both villains of movies that he wrote, are stronger than any version of Broly that we've seen in any of the movies he appeared in. The Japanese fandom has referred to this interview as him dissing Beerus, so the creator of Broly is also his biggest fan. Now that you know the conception behind the creation of the Broly character, let's talk about his life story. Broly was born in age 737 on the exact same day that Goku was, and that morning, his destiny would forever be linked with Goku's in a very weird way. As they both lay there in the cribs, side by side, baby Kakarot's endless crying irritated and traumatized Broly, creating an uncontrollable hatred for Goku. In his adult years, every time Broly sees Goku or somebody who resembles Goku, he goes into a rage, screaming his name. Now, how a newborn child could somehow remember or know the name of the newborn next to him is never really explained, and it kind of makes no sense, but I guess Broly was just a prodigy and could somehow remember bizarre details from literally hours after he left the womb. Broly would seek vengeance on Goku for the rest of his life, never forgetting the torment of hearing another baby crying next to him, never getting over something that many of us in the real world would consider a little bit insignificant, but it's Dragon Ball. Broly was immediately tested at birth, like everybody else born on planet Vegeta, for his power level, and it was read at a shocking 10,000. This means that Broly had power almost equal to that of a fully grown male Bardock as a baby, which was very unusual. Fearing that the baby was too dangerous and could possibly cause problems in the future, King Vegeta, the ruler of the planet, ordered the child to be executed. Broly's father, Paragus, pleaded with the king, telling him that Broly could be a great warrior for the entire race, but King Vegeta's paranoia about the incredibly high power level made him fear that one day Broly could be out of control. I find this rather ironic considering, that guy Frieza, whom he also didn't trust, would later that day kill King Vegeta and blow up the entire planet, but hey, no sense in playing Monday morning quarterback on that one. So King Vegeta blasts Paragus and Broly was shockingly stabbed and both were left for dead. So when Frieza destroyed the planet just a few hours later, Broly would awaken at the sight of the bright light and would somehow survive. Broly unleashed some kind of hidden power where he not only survived a planetary explosion, getting off the rock mere moments before it was turned to space dust, but also creating a space bubble for him and his dad to survive in. So Broly and Paragus would spend the rest of their lives salty as hell over the actions of King Vegeta and the baby who wouldn't stop crying. I mean, I feel like trying to kill my father and stabbing me in the chest when I was born is a little more fucked up than some random kid crying in a crib next to me, but hey, Broly never had that much sense to him. In fact, he had so little sense that as he developed, Paragus noticed that he was becoming out of control, just like King Vegeta had thought. At one point, Broly lost control, and Paragus tried to restrain him but wound up losing an eye as a result. Paragus recognized that his son was OP as hell, so rather than just run away or try to kill him, he developed technology from a mysterious alien scientist who looks like Krang from the Ninja Turtles to restrain Broly and control him. This strange crown would be the only thing stopping Broly from causing complete bedlam everywhere he went. Once Broly was under control, Paragus began his revenge plot, somehow discovering that King Vegeta's son survived and was on planet Earth. Of course, Paragus couldn't get revenge on King Vegeta, so his son was the next best thing. Broly's immeasurable power and ability to survive in space would be helpful as the first Broly movie begins with him destroying numerous planets in the South Galaxy. A lot of fans have misinterpreted this as Broly destroying the entire galaxy, but this is in fact not the case, as the South Galaxy would be mentioned in future movies and TV episodes. In fact, Daizenshu 7 tells us that the planets featured in this movie, New Planet Vegeta and Planet Shamo, were in the South Quadrant. So the grand plan was to lure our heroes, specifically Vegeta, into a death trap and try to falsely convince him that they need his help in stopping the mysterious legendary warrior who was laying waste to the South Quadrant. Of course, Paragus knew it was his own son and planned to lead Goku, Gohan, Trunks, and the others on a wild goose chase with Vegeta, actually believing that Paragus is sincere about creating a new planet Vegeta. Of course, his smarter and more level-headed son Trunks saw through the BS. Paragus' grand plan was to get Vegeta onto the planet, knowing that there was a giant comet on direct course to the planet that would surely destroy the damn thing and kill everybody on it. So as the movie progresses, Broly comes face to face with his grim tormentor from childbirth, Goku, and struggles to control himself until one night he goes on a rampage and attacks Goku before being restrained by Paragus. Paragus realizes later on that his son and Goku were born on the same day, and I guess figures out why his son was so mad. And yet, for some reason, Goku and the others still can't figure out that he's the culprit. It's not until Gohan and the others were told by the slaves from the Shamo race that Broly attacked their planet. So once the cat's out of the bag, the crown breaks and Paragus reveals the truth. The big fight begins, and even Vegeta trembles at the sight of this titan as Broly cuts through the Z-Fighters like a hot knife through butter for a big portion of the movie's climactic battle. Every Dragon Ball Z movie villain has a segment in their movie where they run through the good guys with ease, but Broly's just looked extra impressive as he's rampaging through Gohan, Trunks, Goku, Piccolo, and eventually Vegeta once he got over his little anxiety attack. An unsuppressed Broly made this battle completely one-sided. As the battle raged on, Paragus knew the comet was about to wipe out the entire planet and thus was trying to bounce out of there and leave everyone to die, including his own son. Broly, however, was not pleased at his dad leaving him for dead after he saved him when he was a baby, crushing Paragus into a damn lawn dart. Single-handedly, none of the Z-Fighters during the movie stood a chance against Broly, but in the climax of the film, they all donated their energy to Goku, which was enough to power Goku up to hit Broly with one huge uppercut to the stomach and rip him into pieces. Now, there's a huge misconception about this scene, where there's a claim that the only reason Goku won is because he punched Broly in the same place that he was stabbed in the stomach as a baby, and thus, that's his weak spot. Listen, I don't care how big of a Broly fan you are, this is simply not true. If you believe this, what you're telling me is that this legendary, powerful warrior who can survive the explosion of a planet when he was a day old and can create space bubbles somehow had a scar that never healed for like 20-something years, and Goku somehow knew about the scar? No, folks, Goku took everyone's power, including his own, and put it into one punch and legitimately sent him packing. Look, it's cool to like Broly, but to make up bullshit just to defend a fictional character is kinda weird, but I guess people do it all the time. Listen, Broly's a badass, but you had 5 other badasses donating a lot of energy. He could only take so much. Now, surely there was no way Broly could survive that, right? Well, no. A real testament to how strong Broly actually is would be told to us in his second movie appearance, where Broly not only came back, not only was much stronger than he was in the previous movie, but he wasn't even close to death. So, he can heal, but he can't heal the scar from the knife? Come on, bro. Anyways, for some reason, Broly survived and came to Earth about 7 years later, but this time Goku wasn't alive. But when Broly saw Goku's son Goten, he mistook him for his arch nemesis and went into rage mode. I find it kind of funny that Broly sees a child who resembles Goku and would just assume that it's him. Did he, in his head, think Goku turned himself into a kid again? What is this, GT? No, but seriously, it's implied in the film that Broly's near-death experience in the last movie caused his brain to pretty much go haywire and malfunction, so he doesn't even know what the hell's going on, and it does kind of make sense when you explain it that way. Anyways, Broly engages Goten and Trunks, and eventually Gohan shows up, and Broly and him have a battle that proves that Broly is much stronger than before due to a near-death Zenkai, outmatching even the kid who beat Cell. In fact, Gohan throws Broly into freaking lava, and the dude survives. He survives liquid hot magma. The actual meaning behind the end of this film has been debated upon for years, but basically the combined power of Goten and Gohan's Kamehameha, backed up by what some believe to be the spirit of their father, and Trunks with the assist, blast Broly into the sun in gory fashion, ending him forever. Or, at least for now. Then we have Bio Broly. Now, it's interesting because Bio Broly isn't actually the original Broly, just a clone that was manufactured on the island of May Queen Castle by scientists Dr. Kali and Miss Nain for the billionaire Jaguar, seeking revenge against his old rival Mr. Satan. Jaguar was manufacturing these biohumans to fight, but once he got his hands on some dried up blood from the previous fight with Broly, Bio Broly would become his greatest creation. Long story short, the shaman from the village that Goten and Trunks visited at the beginning of the previous movie was embarrassed because he was unable to rid the village of the dinosaur monster and thus blamed them for the banishment. Now, how the hell did he know that Goten and Trunks would show up on the island that day? I mean, it was only supposed to be Mr. Satan, but I guess it was just a money thing and a grand coincidence that the kids that he hated so much just happened to be there. But again, it's a Dragon Ball movie. I mean, it's a Dragon Ball movie. Stuff just happens, I guess. So, Bio Broly proved to be just as mindless as the previous film's Broly, but still as dangerous as he's ever been. Early in his appearance in this movie, he gets covered in biomechanical fluid and resembles a wacky golden-haired Swamp Thing. This Bio Broly clone seemed like more of a zombie than any previous incarnation of Broly. Being covered in the fluid seemed to have affected his speed and stamina quite a bit too. So, we find out that the bio-liquid solidifies once it touches water, and this winds up being the determining factor in the defeat of Bio Broly as he becomes frozen in stone and blasted into pieces by Goten and Trunks. So the movie ends with Kaio-sama asking the dead Goku to help out in hell because Broly's causing trouble, which is weird because Bio Broly is not Broly, he's just a clone. So who's actually causing the ruckus, the original Broly or the newly killed Bio Broly? The world may never know. Also, this means there's 2 Brolys in hell, the real one and the clone, and that's a scary thought. That is, of course, the last time we would see Broly in Dragon Ball Z, but the popularity of Broly would live on past just the anime. is really damn popular, and Bandai Namco and the toy companies and game companies all recognize this, which is why he continues to come back in video games and probably will forever. In these games, Broly achieves higher levels of transformations that he never had in the series. Just like Bardock, another really popular character, he's ridiculously overpowered to where it doesn't even make sense. There's people who actually believe Broly punching Gogeta in a video game should be considered an actual feat, despite it being a silly cutscene from a game. I mean, come on. But as far as transformations go and stuff like that, Broly's done it all, really. He achieved SS2 in the Miracle Battle Card Dragon Ball Kai game. If you remember, Raging Blast, Dragon Battlers, and Dragon Ball Heroes showed Broly achieving SS3, referred to as Legendary SS3, of course, with green hair. And he also achieves the Great Ape and Golden Great Ape form, even though he's got like a greenish kind of tint. Then there's Broly achieving what's called full-powered SS4 in Dragon Ball Heroes. In this form, you can actually see a scar in Broly's chest, but we're not sure if the scar is from the childhood stabbing or the fact that he was punched through the chest by Goku, or maybe his heart blowing up in the other movie. But nonetheless, this is a form that nobody else has been able to achieve as of today. I will focus more on the SS4 Broly thing in a video in the very near future. Now, recently in Dragon Ball Fusions, Broly can now fuse with Goku, and now Karoli, the fusion of Goku and Broly, is featured right there in the cover art. So they know how big Broly is with the fandom, and they exploit the character as much as possible to make money despite him not appearing in the anime for many, many years. Regardless of whether or not you think Broly is overrated or if you're a fan, Broly is one of the most popular villains in the history of anime. The guy's a tank, he hurts people for fun, he has an actual backstory which is a bit polarizing, but he pretty much proves that if you're a fictional character with big muscles and kick a lot of ass, people are going to like you. Thank you for watching this edition of Dragon Ball In Depth. Remember to check out the other videos in the series, and I hope that no matter what your opinion may be on Broly, that you enjoyed this look back at his life. I will talk to you guys down the road.